I'm getting my happy on here with Deb Luster, one of my very dear friends. She's an entrepreneur. She has started many companies, including Annie's Macaroni and Cheese, you might have heard of. And she is one of the most sincere, happiest people I know. And she's going to talk to you about one of her perspectives on happiness.
Hi. So I'm always looking for ways to be happy. And one of the ways I find myself being the most happy is somehow being in service to the planet. And that's not for everybody, but it's definitely my happy is to find a way for me to serve. The cool thing about service for the planet is it's not these massive gestures. They don't have to be, I'm going to give $1,000 to my favorite charity, or I'm going to be on stage and I'm going to change the world on stage, or I'm going to invent something or write a book. Really, the truth is that you can actually change the planet and change your experience of the planet in terribly, wonderfully small gestures, small steps. So, for instance, if you just smile at people, you may be changing their lives. You may be, first of all, it feels really good to smile. I mean, just try it right now. I mean, it feels really good. And even if you don't really feel it inside, sometimes if you just smile on the outside, you start laughing on the inside. I don't know what that's about. Do you know what that's about? So for instance, when I was a little girl, well, not so little, I guess very impressionable, 14 years old, we moved to South Africa during the apartheid, which by the way was crazy. And I moved from Oakland to South Africa, and I was very, very lonely. We landed, and I realized as I got off the plane that I knew only 4 other people on the entire continent, and those were my family. Well, that was great, except that it's a strange thing to think of a whole continent of people you don't know when you've had a lifetime with a whole bunch of people you have known. So it was really sad, and actually almost desperately sad. And one day, right after I got there, I was walking down the streets of Johannesburg, and many of you don't know about the apartheid, or if you don't know about it, it was the whites or non-Europeans, Europeans on one side and the non-Europeans on the other side. You weren't even allowed to walk on the same side. And that was really hard for me because I came from Oakland and I embraced everybody. I felt like I was colorblind. And I was super, super sad. And I saw this woman, this beautiful ebony woman with this huge smile. And she was carrying on her head wood, like a ton of wood on her head. And she was walking on the other side of the road. And I was almost in tears. And at that moment, she looked up at me and she gave me the most beautiful smile I had ever seen up to that point. And at that moment, I felt completely welcome here in South Africa, when I was in South Africa. Like it was a transformative experience. Her smile changed my life. It enabled me to open up my life in South Africa, and it started everything out for me, my journey in South Africa and into my adulthood with confidence because of that smile. And I also learned that when you do get one of those smiles and you actually give them back, you find that the world magnetizes amazing things to you just by smiling, just by laughing, just by being present and giving the world the best of yourself in that very moment, just moment by moment. And that is how a smile, your smile at any moment, like right now, can change the world and your world. And that's how I get my happy on.
Isn't that amazing? Deb is so filled with heart. If you would like to hear more of getting your happy on, who knows, maybe I can get Deb to do another video. Just please hit subscribe under the YouTube channel with Getting Your Happy On with Kimberly.